But bands of rioters are still confronting officers and now have begun looting stores and local businesses. Rioters took to the streets this afternoon, throwing rocks and bricks at police officers, then rampaging up and down streets. At one point, a group attacked a Baltimore patrol car, stomping on it and smashing windows. Emergency vehicles moved in, and at least one arrest was made on that scene. Police say they got a credible threat this morning that there would be violence, but it appears they are still not getting the situation under control. They say they're using tear gas and pepper spray. Reports say some of the rioters came from a nearby high school and that more of it may have been spread by social media. At times, the officers in riot gear approach people throwing rocks and other objects, but at other times, they appeared to retreat. The unrest comes on the day that 25-year-old Freddie Gray was laid to rest. He died in police custody last week, triggering outrage in the community. The Gray family had made an appeal for peace today, but police made it clear that the people in the streets were not protesters, but lawless criminals.
We know as this is going on that 7 of our officers to right now have been injured. The exact circumstances that took place that led to their injuries, something we'll be able to determine at a later date. We're going to go back and do an investigation, and we will find the people that are responsible, and we will put them in jail.
Now, as for those injuries, we can tell you police say some of the officers have broken bones. At least one officer was quoted as saying an officer was non-responsive. It's not clear how many arrests have been made, but we've seen a few just by watching the overhead video. Obviously, this situation is far from under control, and we will be taking a close look at it for the next hour. Maurice and Christine.
Okay, Dick, thank you.
Yeah, very fluid situation. We want to join coverage now from our sister station, WJZ, in Baltimore. This is their live coverage. Let's listen in.
Been something that's been going on. Yeah, there you go. This has been going on for the last 2.5 hours, ever since we got here, just at like 2:45. It was a chaotic scene initially, and then 10 minutes into us being here, things just started popping off, and protesters, most of whom were Baltimore City high school students, were starting to hurl stuff at officers. All right, we're going to get to the sidewalk now because it looks like these officers are about to, they're saying move, 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 and walking towards the group of students. You can see some of these kids have backpacks on their backs, and they're, again, hurling things at officers, and you saw how heavy these objects are. I mean, they broke one of the police shields further back. So, again, this is all happening just by the Mundeleman Mall, again, at Liberty Heights Avenue and Reisterstown Road. You can see officers right now looks like they're heading towards the direction of wherever that police car fire was that Captain Jeff was talking about, but you can see Judy's focusing on the officers who have now made their way onto this this lot, which I'm not really sure what is on this area except for just a field, basically. But there's kids over there, and they've been hurling rocks again and bricks at police officers.
With 7 officers injured, that's the number. Lieutenant Kowalczyk was also saying several have broken bones. Christy, we mentioned you had been hit by pepper spray. How are you doing, and our crew?
I'm fine. I'm doing much better. I mean, it was just a situation again that we weren't even that close to the group of people that were getting maced. It's the wind. The wind pushes a lot of the fumes in certain directions, and unfortunately, I was downwind and I got the mace again in my eyes. So you have to excuse my appearance. That's why I look the way I do. But one of the officers helped me flush out my eyes, and I'm doing a lot better. But unfortunately, that was the second time that happened.
And so, Christy, just so our viewers
definitely, again, we were already standing further. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Just so our viewers understand at home that you are using your best judgment, knowing when to vacate an area for your safety, for our photographer's safety, and you have moved back at certain points today.
Right, I mean, and we were even far away from when they deployed the mace. It's a matter of when the wind decides it's going to gust, and it can push whatever they put out into the air for several feet. And so I could, like, in that situation, the second situation, I was standing at least like 30 feet away from that crowd, and I still got it because the wind decided to blow in my direction. So right now we have moved on to Liberty Heights Avenue, and We are looking at another line of officers who moved from the intersection over here, again, because there were little kids who were standing on this knoll who were throwing, again, rocks and bricks at officers. And, you know, an hour ago, we actually showed you live pictures of one of the officers who was down and had to get medical attention. We saw her get rushed off into an ambulance. And again, this is just very unfortunate because this is all happening on the same day that Freddie Gray was being put into the ground to be buried. And his family said, please don't protest because we don't want to dishonor his memory. And when I spoke to you...
Okay, we've been listening to our coverage there from our station in Baltimore, WJZ. Situation in Baltimore out of control throughout much of the past couple of hours. As it stands right now, 7 police officers have been reported injured, a number of them having broken bones. One of the officers said to be unresponsive. All of this happening on the day that Freddie Gray was laid to rest, as you just heard. But all this also happening as a result of a social media sort of effort by a bunch of high school kids near a shopping mall in this section of Baltimore that led to people coming out and seizing the opportunity and just going crazy in some spots, burning police cruisers, stomping on them, throwing bricks, looting a CVS, out of control.
Every report has indicated that the main people that are protesting here this afternoon, causing all of this violence, are high school children. And like you said, Maurice, news spread via social media. However, being young as they are, they sure are causing a lot of problems here in this area. And very many people, the majority of people in this area, do not want this at all.
Not at all. And meantime, the whole world is watching. We will keep an eye on this for you. We will bring it back to you, get back to it as coverage warrants throughout this broadcast.